I had a compact 9mm digging into my ribs in a grocery line, shirt riding up, grip printing, and the guy behind me locked on my hip. That flash of panic told me more than any chart ever has. I've bounced between full-size duty guns, tiny micro 9s, and every perfect compromise the internet praised. Most ended up in the drawer. They shot fine on a clean lane, then failed the only test that mattered: long, ugly hours of everyday carry. One of these compacts even hesitated once during a filthy, sweat-soaked drill and left a knot in my stomach I still haven't shaken. So this list came from a brutal compact test: printing, end-of-day comfort, control with slick, tired hands. Plus one rule I didn't mention until I hit the gun that broke it. 7 compacts survived. A couple of big-name favorites didn't. Somewhere in here, somebody's carry gun already lost its job. I stopped calling this thing a little gun the day it dragged on my belt in a crowded store. Grip edge pushing the shirt, muzzle printing when I leaned over the cart, that tight feeling between my shoulder blades like someone was staring straight at it. On the range, it had already felt unfair. In long class, guys with skinny micro 9s kept jamming mags, while the X macro just kept eating. The dot barely moved. Recoil felt like a chopped duty pistol, and it never cared about the cheap, filthy ammo we were running when my hands were slick and tired. Carry has been where it started talking back. The grip length has ridden the edge of what I could hide under a thin t-shirt. The weight has dug into the same sore spot on long drives. I've caught myself checking reflections in every window, tugging my shirt, pretending I was just fixing my belt. More than once, I stood over the safe with the X macro in one hand and a smaller gun in the other, trying to decide what mattered more that day: how clean I could shoot, or how sure I was that nobody saw a thing. The G3C only needed one bad day to wreck years of cheap trust. Last year, in a class, it choked on my actual carry ammo and sat there half out of battery while everybody else finished the drill. That was enough. It went from good enough beater to you're done before I got home. The GX4 Carry walked in right behind that mess. I didn't pick it up as a fresh start. I picked it up just to see if another Taurus could survive everything the last one failed. First day out, I loaded the exact ammo that embarrassed the G3C, then mixed in steel, old hollow points, stuff that had no business still being in boxes. The GX4 Carry just kept cycling. No drama, no weird reset, no mystery stoppages when my hands were sweaty and tired. On the belt, it has sat smaller than the X macro, flatter under t-shirts, lighter at the end of hot days. It has started stealing real carry time without ever asking for forgiveness. I still feel that old G3C knot every time I holster it though. This one hasn't betrayed me yet, and that yet is the only reason I keep watching it harder than anything else in the safe. By 2026, the VP9 had quietly slid into backup status. Newer compacts had the optics cuts, the wild capacity, all the little upgrades that make you feel like the old gun's just wasting space in the safe. It wasn't bad. It was just the one I stopped reaching for. In my head, it was already gone. That weekend, I took one of the shiny new 2026 compacts to the range instead. On the bench, it looked perfect. On the line, it started coughing. A couple of ugly stoppages with my carry ammo, slow to clear. Weird ejection that wouldn't quit. Confidence went straight in the trash. I parked it and grabbed the washed-up VP9 just to finish the day. I ran it mad. Faster strings, one-handed, cheap ammo, no mercy. It refused to give me a single excuse to hate it. No stutters, no drama, just that heavy HK slide driving straight back. Sights snapping right where they were supposed to. Driving home in the Texas heat, that's what stuck. The gun I'd mentally fired was the one that acted like a real carry pistol. And the next compact on this list never even had to claw its way back from the sell pile. I picked the Hellcat Pro on purpose for a long day in last month, 2026. Hot weather, driving in and out of stores, maybe dinner later. On paper, it checked every compact box. Short grip, real capacity, good sights, a gun that always ran hard on the range. It felt like the sensible choice when I walked out the door. By the afternoon, it started chewing on the same spot on my side. Every time I got in the truck, the grip dug into that nerve just above the belt. Standing was fine. Sitting was misery. Sweat made the texture feel like sandpaper. I kept telling myself it was just me being soft, that this was the price of carrying something serious. Somewhere between stops, I finally snapped. I shut the truck door, locked it, unbuckled, and actually took the Hellcat off, just to breathe and drive home without that pressure. Not to check it, not to clear it, just to get it away from my ribs in my head. I had always kept a hard rule. Any compact that ever made me unholster in public just to escape pain was done. The Hellcat Pro became the first gun to cross that line, and it still bothered me, sitting there on the passenger seat. I was already used to lying to myself on rush nights. I was late, grabbed my wallet, keys, and the Shield Plus because it clipped on without a thought. No wardrobe change, no new holster, no standing in front of the mirror checking angles. Bigger compacts crossed my mind for half a second. Then the door shut behind me and the Shield was just there. Light, flat, invisible. Walking into that gas station, it reminded me why I kept it. No dig on the belt, no grip poking through the t-shirt when I reached for the door. Nothing printing in the glass. It felt like cheating. The mood changed in the parking lot on the way out. Couple of guys hanging close to the pumps, slow eye contact. Just enough distance to make my brain start doing math. I rested my hand near the Shield, and suddenly all I could see in my head were numbers. Capacity, distance, how fast I really ran that gun under stress. I trusted it to go bang. I didn't know if I trusted what I'd brought to that kind of mess. Driving home, it disappeared on my belt again. That sick little doubt didn't. And the next compact on this list had done something the Shield never has. It made me feel, for once, like I might have brought too much gun instead of not enough. It was the last range trip before Christmas in 2026. Cold wind, gray sky, Texas traffic, still backed up with people losing their minds over sales. I dragged the Ruger Max 9 along as the, let's see if this budget thing was a mistake gun. First strings were ugly. Groups were loose, recoil felt sharper than it had any right to, and it gave off that exact vibe of a compact that looks fine in the case and lets you down when you actually shoot it. I drove myself halfway into a bad mood and started planning what I'd replace it with. Then I looked at what I was feeding it. Beat up mag, mixed trash ammo I'd swept out of a bag. Zero respect. I swapped to a clean factory mag, grabbed decent 9mm, slowed down, and actually worked. The pistol snapped back different. Groups tightened, recoil, settled into a rhythm, sights tracked instead of jumping. Nothing about the gun had changed. I had. That's what bothered me on the drive home in that pre-Christmas mess. I had almost thrown a solid compact under the bus because I was lazy. The Max 9 didn't trick me. My impatience did. And the number one pistol on this list never gave me that excuse at all. It just made every other compact feel like I'd been lowering the bar. In 2026, after everything I'd carried and cursed at, the Walther PDP Compact was the only gun I walked out of the house with. On a day I knew could get weird. Long drive, big box store, food stop, family with me, no backup riding in the truck. If this one didn't work, I didn't have a plan B. All day, it just sat there and did its job. Hours in the seat, in and out of the truck, bending for bags, walking past glass. Nothing printed, nothing chewed a hole in my side. I never once reached for a bathroom stall or cracked the holster in the car. Just to get relief, it felt like part of the belt, not a problem I had to manage. The moment that locked it in came leaving the store that night. Two guys drifted a little too close to my lane in the lot. Voices up, hands moving more than I liked. I shifted my kid behind me and let my hand settle near the PDP. No counting rounds, no wishing for a different gun, no second guessing. Just that slide, that grip, and the quiet feeling that if this turned ugly, I was holding exactly what I was supposed to. Out of every compact on this list, this is the one I'd keep if I had to sell the rest. That moment in the grocery line has not come back, because one of these compacts has lived on my belt since then. Same shirts, same seats, same long days, no panic when somebody leans in. Now the test sits in your lap. Take your carry gun and ask 3 things. Have you worn it 10 or 12 hours without counting the minutes until it came off? Can you run it strong hand only when you're tired, not fresh, on a perfect lane? Does it stay hidden when you sit and move through a crowded room? I'm Steve. Every pistol on this list has already cleared that bar for me. If yours has not, the replacement already sat somewhere in this countdown. Tell me which gun you retired, which one you trust now, and which compact still keeps you a little bit honest.